Hey guys, welcome back to a new weekly reading vlog, and let me tell you, it feels so good to say weekly reading vlog after just completing daily vlogging. So this week I'm actually not sure how much reading I'm gonna get done. If you did watch my daily vlogs, you may remember that I said that Ryan will be arriving today. Ryan is my best friend, my in real life best friend, and I haven't seen him in 5 months. So he will be arriving in around 40 minutes now, I believe, and we will be going out to get some food tonight, and then he's leaving on Wednesday, but then I'm gonna have a whole ton of filming and work to do to catch up on what I've missed over the 3 days while he's here. But the book that I'm still currently reading is Good Me Bad Me by Ali Land. We have 5 days till the end of the month, and I have this and Assassin's Quest to read, so it's not looking good. But I'm currently on page 168 of this, so I have 200-ish pages to go. This one is on my Bookopoly TBR to read a thriller, and it follows a teenage girl whose mother is a serial killer. So she reports her mother to the police, and then she's given a new name, put into a foster home, and she has this whole new life, new family, and she's told that she can't talk about her mother and who her mother is for her own protection. I'm not really enjoying this. I'm not really gelling with the writing style. I'm over halfway through, and for a thriller, it's not very thrilling. I don't know what type of thriller it is because I don't read a lot of them. So like, you have psychological thrillers, domestic thrillers, but I do know that the majority of this happens inside the main character's head. I feel like it's a little bit of a psychological thriller because a lot of the focus on the plot is how growing up with this woman who was murdering children has affected her own daughter. There is a history of abuse somewhere. Well, as you can imagine, her mother was killing children, but I do believe that her mother abused her as well, because it's kind of an inner monologue. The narrator isn't imparting anything to the reader, it's just kind of like stray thoughts that cross her mind kind of thing. So I'm not completely loving this, but I do think that I will at least have finished this by the end of the month, and then Assassin's Quest is going to be a little bit of a problem. However, the live show for Assassin's Quest I think is going to be on the 16th of August at 8 PM UK time, so I do have 2 weeks into August to read that book, and I can do it by then, no problem. I did receive an Amazon parcel today. This is a very large box because I know that there's just one book in here, but I did order this a few days ago. I thought it was actually going to arrive last week. It's a pretty predictable purchase from me, and it's a book that I'm hoping I can read next month, although not sure how big next month's TBR is going to be, so I would have to try and fit it into Bookopoly if I definitely wanted to read it. But the book that I have received is The Emperor of Evening Stars by Laura Thalassa. So this is the 2.5 book in the Bargainer series, and it is a novella from Desmond's perspective. So the Bargainer series is a 4-book, if you include this one, new adult fantasy romance series that is a lot like A Court of Mist and Fury, but in like a new adult urban fantasy setting. And we follow a woman who is a siren, and she has a string of beads up her arm, and every bead represents a debt that she owes to the bargainer, and she has 322 beads in total. So the first book is told in 2 timelines. You have a past timeline that narrates the time when she was acquiring all these beads, and then you have 7 years in the future, which is the current day present, when the bargainer has finally come to collect his debts. Very, very good series so far. The romance is on point, the smut is top notch, and the love interest, Desmond Flynn, is like Rhysand but next level. So like how Rhysand's bad boy side is mainly a front, Desmond really is like ruthless and a little bit vicious, but also has a little bit of a sweeter side. So yeah, if you're a fan of A Court of Mist and Fury, if you're a fan of Fortuna Swan, would recommend you pick up this series, and I'm very excited to get into the novella, which is, like I said, from Desmond's perspective. So I do still have a couple of things to get done before Ryan arrives, which I'm gonna go and get on with, and I will check in with you guys when I have something to tell you, which this week I'm not actually sure when that's gonna be. It's gonna be a problem, cause I'd be lying to you if I said this ain't a thing and I've been looking for a new one. I keep on waiting for the weekend. Gonna hit you up and tell you that I want you, cause I just wanna feel like this again. Oh, oh, oh. All I wanna do is feel awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All I wanna do is feel awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Baby, can you make me feel awesome? Up and down, side to side, and then back and forth. Up all night again, me and you, left and right, and then whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Up and vermin, that's what you are. Vermin. Mine, 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 mine. Go kick it. Oh, he's so pretty. All I wanna do is feel awesome. I'm in an Uber to your place again. Had a couple fucks, but I lost them. I'm sleepwalking in the dark again.
Whatever you got, baby, I want one. And now I'm fighting for the sheets again.
Hey guys, long time no see. I'm just checking in to give you a little bit of an update to say that I'm currently on page 195 of Good Me Bad Me. I didn't read a single thing Monday or Tuesday, and then I read a little bit last night, but Curtis has just modded some more things into Rock Band and got some more of like the instruments and stuff. So that is what I was doing last night. I've just filmed my Bookopoly TBR. This is my stack. I'm just going to put it into my spreadsheet and work out the pages because it is pretty intimidating, but I did have to take punishment on Bookopoly, so my only goal for the rest of the month, which is today and tomorrow, is to read Good Me Bad Me by Ali Land, which, I mean, in theory I should be able to manage it, but I was supposed to finish this book like last Sunday. When did I pick it back up? Like last Thursday? And I've only read 150 pages in that time in this book, but that is my goal. So hopefully the next time I come and check in with you, I will have finished this. I want to know, and I wish this vlog was going up before the end of the month so you guys could tell me. I want to know if the plot twist in this is actually going to make it worth it, because I'm just not that into it so far. It's a very slow moving thriller. At the minute, there's definitely a secret here that the main character's hiding, but it is mainly about the effects that growing up in this environment has had on her. I don't want to diagnose anybody because it hasn't, I don't think it's been officially said, but I'm guessing that it is PTSD. She's very frequently triggered by things that remind her of the environment that she grew up in and certain incidences of what her mother did to children, and I'm assuming as well what her mother did to her, because there's definitely something there as well. And yes, it's very psychological in the effects that it has actually had on her, having a mother who is a serial killer. But I think that there is going to be a twist in here at some point. I'm just hoping that it makes like the last 200 pages that I've read worth it, because I'm really not feeling it right now. But hopefully I will be able to read at least 80 pages of that tonight, which means that I'll only have like 80 pages to read tomorrow. I have just finished editing Bookopoly as well, so I'm going to set that to upload. And then I woke up really late today, just really late. I'm not even going to tell you how late I got out of bed because it is actually embarrassingly late, but it is nearly 6 p.m. I haven't eaten today because I went straight from bed into filming, so I think it's around 5:30, and at 6 p.m. I'm going to put my dinner in the oven, watch some TV, and hopefully get some reading done. Hey, so it's a surprise to everybody involved, but I actually just finished Good Me Bad Me by Ali Land. It's still Thursday. It's going on for 1 a.m. although it's weird because it feels really late, but it's definitely not as late as I've been going to sleep. But I am going to go into bed when I finish this update. I just thought I would come and let you know what I thought about this while it's fresh in my mind. So I gave it a 3 stars overall. I did end up liking it enough. I've been saying over and over again, like, I hope that the plot twist and that the end is worth it. I wouldn't necessarily say that the plot twist is worth it. I didn't necessarily predict what happens at the end. There's like a couple of plot twists or like reveals, and I wouldn't say that I predicted them, but I wasn't surprised by either of them. I don't necessarily like this book all that much. There's a couple of reasons why. A lot of the characters are unlikable. They all have issues, and I think that the way the main character views things is in a very clinical matter, and she can pick out the flaws in people. She also tends to dwell on the flaws in people, which then makes you not like them because you're viewing them from a negative angle. When I got to the end of this, I really liked how it ended, but that's not why it ended up getting 3 stars in the end. Pretty much, I didn't like the writing in this. I didn't enjoy it all that much, and when I put it down, I never wanted to pick it back up. But I do think that it's a really well constructed novel, aside from the fact that maybe the pacing is a little bit slow, and I think that it's a very interesting example of what a person in this main character's position would think, feel and do. Now, I mentioned earlier today that the main character may have PTSD. That's what I'm assuming, although I don't believe it's ever stated on the page. I can't say whether this is a good representation of mental health, because mental health does come into this even if nothing is specifically stated. The main character is definitely dealing with the effects of the trauma that she has endured her entire life. There are a few other characters as well that struggle with mental health issues. However, it's never stated in the book, like very much about other characters. Actually, it's always from the main character's perspective, and that is just not something that she thinks about. However, when I got to the back of this, I did read the little author bit on the back cover, and Ali Land is a mental health professional, or was a mental health professional. She's now a full-time writer. Saying that, I would assume that this is a good representation, because not only is she a mental health professional, she also spent 10 years as a children and adolescents mental health nurse. But like I said, I can't speak on the representation in this. It isn't mental health reflected positively, I would say. To me, it's kind of like a speculative, what would a person in this position do, think and feel, and for that purpose I think that it was very well done. However, enjoyability wise, didn't really love it. So if you are fascinated by things like this, if you're fascinated maybe by serial killers and the effects that trauma may or may not have on people, then you may be interested in this book. I do think it was a good book. I just don't think it was for me, and it's not necessarily what I like in a thriller. I like thrillers that keep me on the edge of my toes with loads of plot twists that I just really didn't see come in and take me by surprise. So if anything, I would say that this is a bit of a character study, and I did kind of enjoy it from the fascination, I guess, of what this character would do, but like overall as a story, didn't necessarily enjoy it. I hope that makes sense. So I actually have no idea what book I'm going to be picking up next, because I did not anticipate finishing this today. I thought I was going to end up finishing Good Me Bad Me tomorrow and then would probably read nothing else for the rest of the day, but now I have a full day ahead of me, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to pick up. I may pick up Assassin's Quest one day early, because technically it is still on my July TBR, even though it's now been pushed to August, or I might try and squeeze in a novella. Not really sure right now, but I'll let you guys know when I make a decision. There's also a possibility, because July has been my second best reading month of the year, I may actually just not read anything. I may just lay on the sofa tomorrow night and watch Pretty Little Liars, or play Xbox or PlayStation. But yeah, whatever I decide, I'll come and let you guys know when I figure it out myself. Earlier today, I bought ingredients to make Thai food from scratch. It's not like authentic Thai food or anything. I'm making cod with Thai seasoning and flavoring, but the recipe says things like, I have lemongrass stalks, and it says to bruise them with the side of a knife. Honestly, the way that this recipe reads, it sounds like smut. So I have to bruise the lemongrass with the side of a knife. I have to add 4 cloves of garlic bashed with my palm, and 2 bird's eye chilies split open lengthways. So it's a very saucy recipe. But I'm also wearing the Raven Boys apron that was included in the July Owlcrate. I'm not super worried about this, because like I said, it's not like a super complicated Thai recipe. It's actually from a recipe book called Joe's 30-Minute Meals by Joe Wick. So it is kind of like a basic recipe meal, but I want to cook more food from scratch and use more vegetables, and not necessarily use more vegetables, because I do eat vegetables, but discover new vegetables and ways to cook and prepare them. So I thought I would try Thai cod. I think that the recipe is simple enough to follow. It's just stuff like, I don't know how to bruise a stalk of lemongrass, but I'm gonna get on with that, and I'll let you know what the finished product is. Hopefully it's good.
Days are long, your car won't start. It's hard to fix it with the broken heart. I know growing up, it's not what it seems. Man, half of you is 30, half is 17. Wish we could live in the moment. It gets harder and harder to focus. We just ran, so it's harder to own it. So if it helps ya, I'm here with ya. Baby, don't you cry no more. I got 2 arms in an open door. Sure as there's a night and day, I know things are gonna be okay. Okay. You and I are the same. Ain't a thing that could change.
Okay guys, so we're done, and now it's time for the all-important taste test. I'm really excited about this. The fish is just like falling apart, so I cooked it really well, but to be honest, that was expected because it's steam cooked, and my mum always told me that steam cooking fish was the best. So let's do this. Oh my god, let me try some of the veg. That's really good. It's like really subtle, but I can definitely taste the citrus from the lemongrass. The only ingredient from the recipe that I couldn't get was lime leaves. They just didn't have them in my supermarket, so I'm missing that, but I'm getting a little bit of the chili heat, and it's not like overpowering. And yeah, I'm getting the citrus from the lemongrass, and it is so good. That was a random little cooking segment that was completely unplanned, but I'm actually gonna go and eat this now and watch Pretty Little Liars. So I was working out, and honestly, anytime I try and do a workout, something goes wrong. I started a few weeks ago doing doing like short 30-minute workouts, and now I'm trying to do like 45, 55-minute workouts. And what's been happening over the last week or so is that I'll start my workout. I do Les Mills on demand because I used to do it at the gym. Not going to the gym now, so I'm doing it at home. I bought weights and everything so that I can do body pump. I'll click on like a 55-minute workout. I'll do like 30 to 35, even 40 minutes, no problem. And then it will start buffering like every 10 seconds to the point where like I've cooled down. So I may as well just stop the workout. So today I was like, okay, I'll have my dinner, I'll relax for an hour, and then I'll work out. And a thunderstorm rolled in. And I was like, okay, cool, thunderstorm, fine. I think I got 20 minutes in to my workout and the lights had been flickering very, very slightly, but they'd stopped like 20 minutes ago. So I got 15-20 minutes into this workout and the lights flickered, the TV and everything like in the TV unit flickered, and the Xbox didn't come on, and the storm has blown my power pack for my Xbox. Luckily we have 2 Xbox Ones in the house, so I still can use my Xbox, but I need to buy another power pack because when we all play Fortnite, Curtis uses his Xbox as well. But yeah, so I guess working out is just really not for me, guys. The world is trying to tell me something, but I'm now going to get in a bubble bath because I was going to work out and then have a bath. Now I've done half a workout and I'm gonna get a bath and I'm gonna put on a panda face mask that I got from Primark the other day and relax and read for a bit.
Ain't a thing that could change us. We're just riding a wave. Play the game, but it played us. No sleep, you got your eyes wide open. It's scary like a sci-fi show. And you're cruising down the I-5 hoping that for once the time will fly by slower. Wish we could live in the moment.
Hey, I've just finished filming my July wrap up, so I thought I would just hop in and say that it is now August 1st, so I can start my August TBR. I mean, I could have started it yesterday, none of you guys would really have been complaining, but I had a pretty good day yesterday actually. I did a variety of different things and it was a good time. But the next book that I'm going to be starting is Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb, 840 pages, and I'm scared. The live show for this is going to be on the 16th of July. I may actually go make the announcement for that when I'm done here before I start editing my wrap up, just so that all of that stuff is done. But this is the book from my book club for June and July. I haven't started it. I need to stop doing this. I need to get back on track with these, so I'm actually reading them in the months that I need to read them, because I shot myself in the foot by not reading this in July, because if I had read it, then I could have put either Kingdom of Copper or The Well of Ascension on my August TBR, but sadly that could not happen. So this is the 3rd book in the Farseer trilogy, which is the first trilogy in the realm of the Elderlings, and it follows a boy called Fitz. It's a very slow moving, very atmospheric coming of age epic fantasy series, and Fitz is abandoned at the castle when he's a child by his maternal grandfather, who says that he no longer wants anything to do with him and it's time for him to return to his father. Now Fitz's father is actually the king in waiting, who is Prince Chivalry, and so the man who looks after Fitz's father's homes, horses and hawks, Burrick, takes Fitz to his father, only for them to find out when they arrive that Chivalry has abdicated and gone to live in the countryside with his wife. So nobody really knows what to do with Fitz, so he spends a lot of his time in the stables with the stable master. But as he is technically kind of part of the royal family, even though he's a bastard, the king does approach him one day and say that they are going to train him to be the royal assassin, because he is in the unique position where he's part of the royal family but not really, so he can walk the line between both worlds of the royalty and nobility and the common people. Really enjoy this series. They normally take me a couple of 100 pages to get into the book. Have already downloaded this in ebook and put it on my Kindle. I also believe, I don't know if it's still the case, but the entire Live Ship Traders trilogy is around £3.50 on Kindle at the minute, which will be the books that we're going into for the second half of the year, so if you want to snap that up. That deal was accurate at the time of me filming this clip. So yeah, I'm going to be starting this soon. Not quite yet, because I do want to get this video edited so that I don't have to do it tomorrow. Something that taking a 3-day, did I take a 3-day break at the beginning of the week? Something that has allowed me to do with readjusting my schedule a little bit is get me out of the habit of filming the day before a video goes up and then editing it in the morning, because that was just really annoying me because I could not get ahead at all. So now that I've taken 3 days off, actually I just feel super refreshed and back into making videos. I think I need to start pre-filming just a little bit ahead, so film on like say a Saturday for the coming week, just to keep me refreshed from filming, because otherwise with me having an upload schedule of 3 days per week, it does feel like I'm in a constant cycle of filming, editing all throughout the week. The only day that I don't have to do either is Friday, provided I'm on track with everything else that I've done. But yeah, I feel super refreshed. I had a great time with Ryan, because I haven't actually checked in and told you about how I'm feeling at the minute. I had a really great time with Ryan. It was a great time just taking some time off, because as I mentioned, didn't do any filming apart from a couple of vlog clips, didn't do any editing, didn't do any candle stuff, and I'm at a point where I'm not behind on anything right now. I'm on track and I still managed to take those 3 days, whereas if Ryan wasn't here, I still would have worked through those days, I still would have been ahead or on track, I just would have been a lot more stressed about it. So really glad I took that time for myself. Also didn't read anything while Ryan was here, so glad that I took that time away from reading as well, because July was a very big reading month for me, and usually after a month like that I do slowly start to burn out, and while I never slump completely where I'm not reading anything, I do sometimes fall into a little bit of a rut where I'm not reading a lot, or I don't want to read as much as I normally do. So yeah, the beginning of this week was essentially just a big reset, and now I'm feeling good about everything, really. I'm feeling great at the minute, which is unusual for me, but the last couple of weeks I've been feeling pretty good.
Looking from the top of the shelf, how could I do this to myself? Swept out from under my feet, 'cause it was barely 6 weeks talking to me. Guess you were not the one for me, but how this surely just cannot be. And I know you're thinking of me, and how I treated you just the way you should, and how I could not believe now that you are the one that I'll miss, and you are the one I'll reminisce. And I'm looking back to when I first met you, and all I'm thinking is you are the one that I'll miss.
No, are you friendly too?
Nicknames turned to
Yes, you are. Oh, baby.
Guess now all of that's in the past.
You can't eat me.
Seems like you were all I had, when the kisses on your cheek never last. Trying to think positively, I know that's what you would want from me. Watching sunsets from the beach, and thinking how much that you meant to me. But now I see that you are the one that I'll miss, and you are the one I'll reminisce.
Hey guys, apologies for my disheveled appearance. I've just finished working out, nothing too strenuous. I just did like 30 minutes of yoga because I was feeling a little bit restless even though I went out today. The reason I originally went out was to feed bread to the ducks, because I don't eat the crusts off the end of the bread, and because I'm super lazy, I get to the end of a loaf and I always freeze my bread because I don't eat very much, and Curtis and I eat different types of bread, which is extra, I know, but I always take the middle sections out and then I just leave the crust in the freezer. So I went through the freezer, got all the crusts out, broke them down and went to feed the ducks. Couldn't find any ducks anywhere, and then we stumbled across this little like farm naturey area where they had goats and chickens, and there were, I'm guessing that they'd been feeding the ducks there because there's a big river right next to this area and there were hardly any ducks. So I'm guessing this farm feeds the ducks. They do have like a little fenced off area that runs onto like, I guess it's still part of the river or like an offshoot of the river, and they had tons of ducks. There were a couple of swans, and I think they're still ducks, but like some bigger ducks with red bills I'm not too familiar with. But they ate all my bread anyway, and I had some fun times with the goat. So I was feeling a little bit restless in spite of all that. Also, I have, oh, you can see it really badly now. I have an insect bite that I've had for around 2 weeks, I want to say now. Curtis and I were trimming some trees in the back garden and it showed up shortly afterwards, and I have one just above my left knee as well, and the one on my knee has gone down considerably, and this one was doing okay. It went down and then it's come back really red and angry, but yeah, I'm not having a fun time with this. It's really itchy at the minute. I might see if I can find something cooling to put on it, because it's really irritating, especially now that I've had it so long and it just won't disappear. But anyway, I am here to wrap up this vlog. I haven't made a whole ton of progress in this. I'm on page 98. I do want to get to at least page 150 tonight, so I'm gonna go for a shower when I finish with this vlog, and then maybe should I get in bed and read? I haven't read in bed for quite some time. I'm enjoying this. As usual, when I started reading this, the first couple of chapters, it took me a while to just like settle back into it. But I do really like Robin Hobb's writing style. It's a very calming writing style for me, with it also being slow-paced, coming-of-age, atmospheric fantasy. I just find it really comforting for some reason, even though the events of this series are pretty sad overall. I mean, I'm up to chapter 5 now, and the first 3 chapters were just really not happy at all, and I found chapter 3 to be especially sad. I have nothing else really to report except that I received an e-arc today. I generally receive a lot of review requests in my inbox from self-published authors, and I've only ever accepted one of them, and that was from Kelsey, also known as KJ Sutton, the author of Fortuna Swarm. And the reason that I don't really accept self-published requests is that they tend to be genres that I'm not necessarily guaranteed to like. For example, I get requests for things like historical romance, which is just really not my thing. So I put a tweet out and said I don't generally accept them. However, if you are a fantasy romance author or an urban fantasy author, then hit me up, because that is my forte and I'm guaranteed to review the book, because the books are really fast paced. I'm super interested in them in general, and at the minute, to be fair, I could just eat up a whole ton of fantasy romance. So Jessie Elliott messaged me, who is the co-author of the Charlie Travesty series, and sent me the first book in one of her series. It's called Twisted Fate, and it is an urban fantasy that contains fae, so I was like, sign me the fuck up. So I have that. I've just downloaded it onto my Kindle, and I will be reading that in September if I can't read it in August. If I can possibly fit it into August, then I will definitely do that. But I just thought I would let you guys know and make you aware of it in case you're interested. But that is about it for this week's vlog, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. It feels like a very long one, and I think that is because I'm just coming off the back of the reading rush. So going from having to film and edit a vlog every single day to doing one over a whole week is always a shock. I've actually done some interesting things this week for once, which is a surprise to me as much as it is to you guys. But I do hope you have enjoyed this vlog if you've made it this far. If you have, please don't forget to like if you liked it, and subscribe if you wanna, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.